motion for the minutes and warrants 4 and 4P.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. I'm not going to vote on the minutes of yesterday's meeting, but all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so let's go. Recognition of visitors. Son of a gun. Harold, that's you.
Me, already. Well, actually, I'm here for Rescue Inc. board members. As you all know, I'm on the board of trustees. And this organization, as you know, is a 24/7 outfit. We have, right in Brattleboro, we have 4 people on at all times, 365 days of the year, 24 hours a day. And plus we also operate with a large bunch of backups. An example would be tonight, for instance. I don't know if you know it or not. Within less than 2 minutes time, would be exaggerating, Dummerston had 2 calls for Rescue Inc. One was a drowning, the other was a diabetic case. 2 different sides of the town. I won't get into it any further, but I'm telling you, as you know, this time of year, money is not cheap. We operate on a very tight budget. We've had a lot of expensive calls and costs, and we've set our figure to ask the town, in just this town, for a 2.5% increase. So that's what we have come up with. So when you plan your budget, we're asking you to prepare for that.
For 2.5% increase?
2.5%. The reason is, we had hundreds of thousands of dollars tied up in insurance owes. So I don't have to go any further. I won't take any more time. I hope if there are any questions, I'd be more than glad to answer them right now.
Well, we put you there, and you go and give us a 2.5%. Should we go back and look at that, Harold?
It's
No, just
public information. I knew about this for months, but I couldn't get it out until we got our final figures.
Okay. Well, thank you, Harold.
We had a meeting, the final figure was last night, and the chairman of the board asked me to make sure that I appeared.
Yes.
I'm here. Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you, Harold. It's nice to know in advance, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Any other visitors that need to talk?
I'm Rick Lehman. I sent a letter to the select board about the dog incident at our house.
You want to come up and sit right at this here, and let us introduce ourselves, all right? I'm Louis White.
Pleased to meet you.
Rip and I know each other.
Bill Holiday. I'm Zeke.
Yeah, Steve Blayback, yeah.
It was frightening. It was very frightening to come down at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and have 2 angry pit bulls waiting on the doorstep, beating against the glass door, trying to get in, and our Jack Russell Terrier that's barking at them. And so I came down, my wife came down first, and the ruckus started. I woke up, came down, grabbed my dad's cane, that happened to be in the mudroom, and went out to try to chase the dogs off. They kept coming at me. I hit them on the head with this big cane, and they drove me back inside. Well, I sent you a letter, so I assume you read it. But Zeke asked me to come and do a personal witness on this. I don't know what the town can do about this, but these are dangerous dogs. My wife is afraid was afraid to walk out. We walk the dog in the field. We walk up and down Middle Road. We're afraid that the dogs are going to come back angry at unfinished business. And so frankly, we feel a little bit like we're prisoners in our house.
Where exactly you're on Middle Road?
Right, the 3rd house down on the left.
Okay. All right.
Where are the dogs right
The
now?
dogs are on Kipling Road.
I mean, they were turned into the shelter, right?
No, they...
Excuse me, Tom, I made a mistake there.
Yeah.
The letter did say they were going to the shelter.
Oh, yeah, that's
When I
right.
found out who they belong. I was able to find out who they belonged to, and I returned them, and they paid a fine. They're generally on, usually they're in their house, the house, but they're then put on a wire lead. And so it's pretty unusual. I go past their house a couple times a day, so it's very unusual that they ever get out. But I do have to say they were quite, they're fine with the family, and I was okay with them, but watching them go after him was like watching swarm of bees go after someone that's just poked them with a stick. It was pretty frightening to see. I'd suggest that we write a letter to the owner letting her know that should these dogs be found off her property again, that we'll take them to someone that will take them in, and we'll proceed with process for euthanizing the dogs.
So where does that leave these good folks in the meantime? Do they have to wait for another attack?
Well, I don't know. The state statutes are, I don't know if they would let us seize the dogs now.
What does it say about, is it, someone have to actually be bitten to?
As I read it, yeah.
And it's more of a civil matter than a town matter now, right? According to the league letter there.
Yeah, I am not sure how that stands. I don't think, we had the problem down on Camp Hardin
I was gonna
Road.
say we had that problem.
And
but
we were ready to, Lewis and I went down to get the dogs, and we got the legal advice that no, we had to wait until someone was actually damaged. Yeah, so I don't know how long these people are going to keep living there. I think they are very conscientious about keeping them on that leash. They've been there a couple of years, and this is the first time I've ever found the dogs off the property.
Did you find out how long they've been gone?
Since the night before. So,
Did you ask why they didn't report them missing?
I don't know. They told me they'd been out all night looking for the dogs, but then they waited till morning to actually contact the shelter and the other places where you go through.
Would it be fair to ask them if their dogs ever go missing again, that they immediately notify you that their
Yes,
dogs
that
are
would be-
missing?
Yeah, that's a
So
good
that
idea.
you could be called and say these dogs are at large again. So you're not worrying every single day whether they are.
Yeah,
I think that would be helpful.
yeah. I certainly think that's a great idea.
I like Zeke's idea of following up with a letter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to Sam's and wrote a mace.
Good
There,
idea.
I was just going to suggest
I'm
that.
practicing, just handling it, how to have two bulldogs, pit bulls charging me, because you're supposed to aim right at the face. In the meantime, I have my Jack Russell going, ready to take those dogs down. So there's going to be a lot of commotion. But I have that with me now all the time. Just for it.
Good idea.
Well, I'm sorry that
Yeah,
that happened.
right. I
Yeah.
don't think there'll be a problem again.
Yeah,
But- And I'll take Tom's suggestion that I'll, in writing and in person, I'll visit with them and ask them to, or I'll order them to let me know and let the sheriff know
Yeah.
if these dogs ever get
Yeah,
loose.
that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Then we knew they would be on that.
Yeah, and that will let you know.
Very good.
Yes.
So,
Were the dogs, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Were the dogs licensed and have they had their shots?
No, they are unlicensed. At least one of the dogs was current on rabies. They were given a fine, which they paid.
So they
Right
give you
away.
the cash right then and there?
Yes,
and
they did. I've learned, been doing this a while, I kept the dogs elsewhere and came and told them and gave them the fine. If they wanted these dogs back, they had to pay the fine. And they were given a violation notice as per the Dummerston dog ordinance that they do have to license these dogs within 10 days. By state statute, they should have been licensed by the end of May, and the select board has issued an order, as all select boards do, in the state of Vermont, that unlicensed dogs in the state of Vermont after May 31st are to be seized and destroyed. So they have 10 days to get these dogs licensed.
So I assume you'll check with Pam or
I-
within the 10 days?
Every time I come in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
So were you gonna make a motion about the letter that we write them?
That's kind of under your purview as animal control
Yes,
officer.
I could do that.
It might not hurt, to have the minutes show. I wouldn't mind our minutes showing that we did vote to authorize harsher, what do you call it, take as many precautionary
Right.
steps as we can to prevent this
Yes,
from
so
happening
technically,
again.
if I give her a statement saying that these dogs, if they're found roaming again, will be seized and held at a veterinary clinic and euthanized, she'll have, I think it's 10 days to appeal that decision. And she can come to the select board for a hearing within those 10 days, and she can make her case, and the select board can decide to keep that order or rescind it. And then, so should the dogs be found, then we could take them to a veterinary center and have them euthanized.
So I would
Is that a
move that.
motion now? Or
Well-
you're gonna make the motion?
Well, that's pretty, I don't know if I need
I have
all
it
that
all here.
detail in there, but
Yeah.
maybe you want to include it. I would move that, that we encourage our animal control officer to take all actions allowable under his authority
Yes.
to prevent these dogs from harming anyone.
I'll second that.
Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, I'd like to
Thanks
make,
for-
like, one more remark. Zeke was really wonderful helping take care of this dog. He came right away and he dealt with it very efficiently.
Great, thanks for that. Thanks for coming in. Sorry I had to.
Jean?
I would just
Thanks, Steve.
suggest that when you're communicating through letters or whatever in regard to this, if these are renters, that there should be a CC to the property owner, and because in leases, sometimes people are not allowed to have animals. I know that the property we have, we don't allow animals unless they ask us first, and then we can write it into their lease. But I think that the property owner should be notified.
Okay.
It's the landmark trust, I think.
Yes,
it's called.
yes, yeah.
Zeke, do you know those?
Yes,
folks?
I think I can look them up. in the phone.
That'd be great if you could do that for us. All right, anybody else?
Am I a visitor or am I on the
No,
agenda?
you're on the agenda.
How far down?
All the way down. Would you like us to move you up?
Oh, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I was gonna bring my girl.
Would anybody mind if we move Sam
I think
up?
that would be nice of us to do, yeah.
All right, let's not do it now. All right, come on up, Sam.
So Lori's not here. She was going to, she had printed out a resolution. You guys have it?
It's in the folder.
Yep. It is.
So I am just here to watch you sign. If you, and to answer any questions, or I could make I could present the application that we want to make. under the plan.
Why don't you just give us a quick rundown of what you want?
Okay, so at our last meeting, at the Planning Commission's last meeting, we passed a resolution, or it was a motion, but to support an application to the state for a municipal planning grant for the purpose of an amendment to the town plan and amendment to the zoning bylaw, taking into account the work of the corridor committee, which is now on our plate. And the goals would be to have, for public hearing, an amendment to the town plan, including an amendment to the future land use map in the town plan, as well as an amendment to the zoning bylaw, particularly regarding the districting of the corridors. The reason we chose that for an application for the municipal planning grant this time around is, A, it's something we have to do this year, and in addition to that, it's an excellent fit for what the state is looking for. In their program description of the municipal planning grant, they identified as one of the things that they would be particularly receptive to a one-issue amendment to both town plan and zoning. And we said, well, we've got one. So what we want, what the planning commission wants, or what I want as chair of the planning commission, is money, which I can then turn around and give to Wyndham Regional to help me do the work on zoning, which is what I really see as the work for the year. However, part of that work is the corridors, and it fits as a good application, a competitive application. So I'll use it as a vehicle to get the money to help us work on the zoning. So I'm.
But you're not gonna try to reinvent the wheel, you've already got the,
Absolutely.
Okay.
The works of the corridor committee has been done.
okay.
We now need to implement, and that's what
Right.
what the grant would help us do. I mean, we still have to write an amendment, and we still have to do changes to the maps, both in the town plan and then implement into the zoning. So that there's lots of.
What's the amount of it again?
80,000.
And some of that could actually be used for mapping.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. John Bennett is working on the actual writing of the grant and the budget in particular, and so there's a certain number of hours for mapping, a certain number of hours on town plan work, hours on zoning work, particularly hours on public forums, which we think is going to be probably the key to successful amendments that would then pass a public or have a successful public hearing. I think we'll probably submit 2 reports from the corridor committee as part of our application to highlight the fact that there is difference of opinion in town and work that needs to be done to come up with something that the town will be happy with. So that's where we see work to be done.
Do I have a motion to sign?
I'll move that we sign that.
I'll
Municipal
second that.
planning grant.
All right, now discussion. Sam, you wanna go over that all again, please?
I'll say the 8,000. The figure of 8,000 is truly it's truly because 8,000, beyond 8,000, you need matching funds. So we're applying for as much as we can get without having to come up with matching funds.
Fair enough.
Anybody else have anything? All those in favor of signing it?
Aye.
And one other thing I would ask is that you would ask Lori, who is already the administrator of the grant application on the whole online system, to name John Bennett as a writer. She has the authority on their system to do so, but I think she wants to hear it from you guys.
Okay. The other quick thing on that, Sam, is you had Lori, you called Lori and asked her to write up this resolution today?
I talked to her a couple of days ago, and
This is actually the planning commission that should be writing these up, not the assistant.
Yes, I was very confused as how to get this whole ball rolling. There was sort of a chicken and the egg problem here, where Lori didn't want to do anything without select board approval. However, we had to open up the application just to get the resolution downloaded.
Right, but this is something that actually the planning commission, and she actually went and talked to Reg about it, Rockefeller, and this is actually something that the planning commission should be opening up themselves.
To open an application, you need to have a
Everybody
password
needs to
and
sign
a
that.
user account. To have a user account, you have to be someone that's validated by the town. So
And I'm surprised.
she is all from previous applications. She is named as an administrator for the town, and you are named as a municipal official. And you, I think that's right. Yeah, you
Yes.
both signed previous ones. So, I had no ability to do that myself without somebody naming me as administrator. She did talk to someone at the state who's in charge of this whole grants and that whole system, and they then named me as writer, but writer doesn't have, writer is someone who can submit material but not do anything else to the grant. So I couldn't do anything myself on that system to open a new application, but I could ask her to do it because she had the
Is there a way to?
user account with the proper, I mean, it's all sort of red tape.
Yeah, no, I get it. But is there a way going forward that the planning commission or somebody on the planning commission can be authorized to?
Well,
Can
you
I
could
accept
ask her to name me as an administrator, but then I would have to do more work.
Jeez, I wonder if that would be.
Really, and that's against my principles. My objective as chair is to limit the work I have to do. You think I'm joking?
No, we don't.
We've all been chairs.
You're Ronald Reagan, not Jimmy Carter. That's what you're saying, right? That sounds funny.
No, you could do that, but I mean, all the work would come from me, and I would just be asking her to, upload this or that. And John Bennett is really going to write the grant. He'll come up with the whole budget and do the wordsmithing and upload this and that. And as writer, he can do that. So most of the work will be done by him. But you could essentially tell Lori to put me as administrative status, and then it would be out of her hair, which would be a good thing for her too.
Right.
Because she probably has the same principles I do. I hope.
No, she actually takes on way more than
Yeah.
she should.
So-
She's just incredible, so.
So that's okay with me.
And you have to sign that front
Yeah.
page, Sam.
Right.
That's-
I'm signing as chair of the planning commission.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Sam. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
All right.
When do you know?
Oh, the deadline for the application is the 28th of September, and then they will tell us late December, I believe, so that the beginning of the next year we can
Mhm.
start using the funds.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to walk away with this, or do you want it to?
Nope,
Yeah.
I want you to leave it
Yeah.
right here with me. Hot little hands. Okay,
Thanks a lot, Sam.
Yep. Thank you, and good night.
that's a good one. All right, let's move on. Rick Davis, you here?
I'm here.
Haven't seen you for a while, how's it going?
I'll start off with training that up until now, the state and federal government have recommended municipal employees, appointed officials, take certain classes for emergency management. Now it's a requirement if we want to be eligible for any grant money. We have to comply. That's all municipal employees, including the highway department and appointed officials.
To include the select board?
It says
No,
appointed officials.
appointed, we're elected.
So
Appointed or elected, sorry.
Bureau of Fences, Weyer of Coal, all of those guys?
Elected or appointed officials is what it says.
Well, we just lost our way of coal and our
Yeah.
fence viewers.
Recreation Committee,
Yeah.
Who's this coming from?
This is coming, it's a federal statement and includes Vermont Emergency Management.
Who do we call to get out of this, I guess is the question I'm asking. We've been through this before, 3 years ago. They decided that we all had to take all these incredibly,
So it's 100 hours.
it was a ton, and we just said, it ain't gonna happen, and we ain't gonna do it, and what do we have to do not to do it, and it all went away, so where do we call?
Have we
do that again?
Well, at that point, I believe it was a recommended as they worded it, and now it's strongly worded as a requirement.
I still think that, I mean, I'll
Has there
I'll
been
call
any-
Shumla and Peter, well, it's just ridiculous for all of us to have to take these classes. We have nothing to do with any of these things when they happen. It's,
Our rec board has nothing to do with it. Our fence viewers have nothing to do with it.
we hardly have anything to do with it. We're run the town.
Yeah, they,
So I think it's, I mean, it's absurdity that almost any person outside of a federal cubicle could see, so, I mean, if you can get us the background on it, Rick, I know you're just doing your job, I'm not harping on you, but, I just gotta find a number that we can call and at least turn over to Welch and Leahy and these other good friends we have who can call these guys and say, leave them alone.
All right, I'll look into that. September 5th, there's a VY drill, full participation with all towns, state, staging area. So we'll be participating with that. November 6th, there is a drill, but the towns do not participate in that one. This is for state VY and staging only. So those are the two drills coming up. Next June is a graded drill. So we need to have our ducks in a row for that. The new radio we've been promised for so long has finally come. It's installed. While installing it, they found that one of the antennas was defective, needed to be replaced. I tried to get emergency management to kick in to help replace the money, or the antenna. I was told that's what our $5,000 stipend was for. So we had that replaced. That was approximately $1,300.
Just the one up there?
Yeah, but everything's working fine. And they cleaned up the other antennas up there and some of the wiring. Something that I've mentioned before and I'd like to pursue a little harder is, actually I brought up before, having the community center in West Dummerston as a Red Cross authorized shelter for the town. I'd also like the board's approval, not only to talk with the Red Cross about what we need to do to get it up to their standards as a shelter, but if we could also list that as an alternate emergency operations center, that would open us up for some more grant money. And one, something that became very clear during Tropical Storm Irene is many people, not only in Dummerston but around the area, wouldn't leave their homes because there was nothing to do with their pets. I know Windham County Humane Society refused to take any. The vets refused to take any. Basically, there's nowhere to bring them. Talking with the board of the community center, the basement's concrete. There's room out back where we could put up a chain link fence. I'd also like to have that as an authorized animal shelter, which would be pets, small pets, dogs, cats, no snakes.
Is that, who does the guidelines for that? Is that, like, there must be some regulations on how those are...
I'm actually taking a course in a couple of weeks. They're having the, what's it called here? Vermont Emergency Preparedness Conference. They have every year. And there's a course on setting up shelters. So I should have some more information on that. And that's about it.
So what do you want from us, Rick?
Just say okay to pursue getting more information.
Just getting more
More
information?
information.
Get a motion?
I'll move that he go ahead and get more information.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
What were, backing up for a second, Rick, to that training thing, what were the, like, the deadline, the date requirements of that, when these classes are offered, where they're offered?
There's several offered at this conference. Most of them, I'm not sure if all of them, but most of them are offered over the internet. And it also mentioned a CD, so it could be done over a personal computer.
Mm-hmm.
There is one, the RERP overview, I think has to be a classroom, taught in a classroom. I believe it's a 2-hour course, and it could be taught, right here.
Well, if you could get us, whatever the presentation is, wherever you learned about this, get that to us.
I think it's, didn't we get an email about this?
Yeah,
Right.
I went
Put
and
it
did
in
all
my-
the courses online. I've already done all my
yeah,
hours.
it's good, it's just the way you are.
Do you have a certificate for that?
Oh, no, they haven't given it to me
Oh, yeah.
online yet, so it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a private detective's license that way.
Well, it's hard to believe that they would require of every select board in the state for every person to take 100 hours worth of courses.
Oh, it's crazy.
Actually, this is about 4 hours.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you,
think
I
the
thought
total,
you,
the total's almost 100 hours.
yeah, I thought
That's
you
for
said 100 was
Emergency
required.
management directors, 100 hours.
Oh, okay,
140.
not all the select board members, so,
No.
or everyone else.
No, each class is 2 hours long.
But there's a lot of classes.
Is 2.
And it's
Yeah,
all
then you're right.
organizational stuff, how to set up the tree communication, and it's nonsense, because in a real emergency, the National Guard is gonna come in here and step on our necks on their way to the emergency. And
Common sense.
there you go, Harold. There's
Well,
quite a
thanks,
lack
Sharon.
of that.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, moving along. Covered bridge wing wall. Anybody see how that's going?
Yeah, I think it's done.
Oh, it's done, okay.
3 years of preparation equals 3 weeks construction. There's a rule of thumb that we can go forward, so.
So, yep. I see Lee must have taken to heart Jody's comment about his Dummerston pride. He seeded and mulched the bank over there on the other side of the covered bridge,
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
right at the corner.
That's nice.
So,
Yeah.
took pride in that. All right, Renault gravel pit.
Well, we had our DRB hearing last week, and we had reached an understanding with the neighbors in advance of the meeting, and so there was no, they did not contest our application. They weighed in with some of the same concerns that we had already addressed, and there was only a couple of the neighbors there, and they generally spoke in support of it, with the provision that the mitigating factors that we'd already agreed to were in fact in place. So now we'll just be waiting on the DRB to make their decision and write it up, and hopefully it'll go our way.
Good.
It comes within, what, 45 days?
I think that's right. Oh, no, they left the hearing open until, oh gosh, it was already a week ago, I can't remember.
Until the next meeting in September, unless all the information requested was provided
That's
ahead
right.
of time.
Yeah, there was a little bit of outstanding information they wanted us to gather for them, so in order to be able to do that, they had to leave the hearing open, as I think it is.
So, good. Highway report, there's nothing there. Correspondence for information, nothing really there.
Did you see that there was a long analysis in there of the ledge in the
Right,
pit
yeah.
from John Warren? He put a lot of work into that, and so I don't know if it came in a little late. It deserves some sort of acknowledgement that we received it. I mean, I think we can share it with Steve, Mike, and Lee and Dennis. I'm sure that that it's what it is a little more scientific sort of description of what they kind of know, which is some of this ledge will make good gravel, and some of it's just going to be filler. I mean. So.
Would you like to write back to him, Tom?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd be
No,
happy to
that'd
do
be
that.
fine.
It's a nice little document to have, actually.
All right, now, let's go discussion.
Can I pull that out?
Yep. Is it easy? I don't know if it's in the, if it's in the,
I think it's in the pit.
right now.
Hey, how are you, Paul?
Hey, Paul.
And, let's go to the Miller Fund. Did everybody see that request for the Miller Fund?
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a motion for the Miller Fund for the $300?
Right. You got a motion down there?
Tom, do you want to move it, or?
Well, would someone else move it? Because I have
Sure.
a-
I'll move that we take $300 from the Miller Fund for this family.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Discussion on that?
Yeah, Marianne Runge called me, this is that same family that we help with summer clothes, now it's back to school. And she said that, 300 was what she'd asked for last time, because I asked her, I said, well, how much are you going to be asking for? She says, well, 300 is what you gave them last time, but that doesn't seem like that was just for some fun summer clothes. They've got 3 or 4 kids. It may not, 3 kids, it may not be enough for back to school. What do you think? I says, ask for the minimum. Let us talk about it. I says, I don't know what shape our fund is in right now. I was at home. I didn't have the numbers to see where we were with our, our headroom here and all that. So I'm just suggesting that if we wanted to give a little bit more, that she had in mind probably a little more.
Okay, good, because that's what I was thinking myself. Because the $300 were for summer clothes. You go buy a pair of boots for each kid, buy them a decent jacket for the winter. You're talking quite a bit more money to do that. They can do hand-me-downs and stuff, but... Yes, Gail?
She will probably refer them to a Christmas stocking that is free boots, coats, gloves, hats to any child, and they're brand new, and the kids get to go in with their parents and select them. And that is available at the end of October. So they won't need to buy at least those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
We hope.
Well,
We hope.
they shouldn't need to, Louis.
All right. But,
Well, I would offer a friendly amendment that we award $400 for.
you only want to go for? I mean, winter clothes are more expensive. I mean, long sleeve shirts cost more, pants cost more than shorts.
Well,
You questioned how much was in there?
We haven't spent, in the last year, $300 was all we've spent. We did approve for a pair of glasses. That was not taken out. They did not buy the glasses.
And that $300 was in last fiscal year, so I think this is our first request this year. So what do you
I
have
was
in mind?
I was thinking 500 when I was looking at it today.
I would be happy with that. It's an underutilized
So
asset.
friendly amendment for 500.
Yeah, would you accept that, Z?
I'd accept that.
Okay.
I'm Sharon, sorry.
I just have a suggestion. I mean, I know that the church over here has all kinds of clothes. I don't understand why these families can't come. I know that lots of families do. Maybe I'm little, what would you call it?
We'll go there.
Yankee?
But, these kids are gonna be growing out of these clothes, and when they grow out of them, give them back to the church.
Right.
I would suggest that somebody tell Marianne Runge about that. I'd be happy to do that, unless Tom wants to keep in that circle.
No, if you'd like to talk to
no.
Marianne. I mean,
I would think that they would be aware of that.
Not necessarily.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, where are they? Excuse
Is-
me.
I don't know.
No.
Is the
Yeah,
nurse
I don't
aware
know.
of that? She should be.
well, Marianne should be aware.
Marianne Runge is the nurse of the school.
Yes, and that's who I would, speak to. Because, I mean, being here in the office, you see all kinds of people going in there when they have that. They have it twice a year.
Good. Bill, will you take care of
Yeah.
that for us, please?
Yep.
Give Marianne a call.
Yeah.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor on $500?
All right.
Aye.
You want to let Marianne know about this too?
Yes.
All right.
Before we go on, are there other
Pardon?
places where clothing is stored
Well, there's gonna be a lot of places that, you know,
I mean, in
children
town.
have, you know, children grow out of it. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know, I had to wear secondhand clothes when I was a kid,
That's why you're
I still
tough,
do.
Gene. That's why you're tough.
but, I just think that, that's town money and you know how I am about that.
Yes, we do.
Yes, you do.
All right.
It's like Pam said to me yesterday, all those auditors.
Ancient roads, unfinished business.
Steve, you want to get that?
Yeah, I thought Bill did a great organizational meeting Monday, and we got a pretty good crew working, and Pam and you, and I'm not sure who else already has worked on the major map already,
Lee
Down-
stopped by yesterday.
and Lee, that's right,
Carol
Carol.
happened to be here.
and found some discrepancies already, and so I think Bill's kind of chairing it and divvied up some of the paperwork between us all, and we're rolling. We're meeting again in a couple weeks.
Great.
We have a process in place, and we'll adjust that maybe after another meeting or two based on need.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we're ready to go forward. We've sliced up the town. We've decided to start with, at Wayne Emery's suggestion, actually, with the former road commissioner. Lee helped out. We have the current road commissioner. And some people that like to go out in the field and walk a little bit, and other people that, so we have good diversity.
Well,
That's,
that's great.
yeah.
Terrific.
I sent out what
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have.
you
You're
did.
welcome to read those or not. But I'll send those out each time there's a meeting.
I think we have the right chairman for that committee.
Get on me a little bit. I'm not sure how to take you. I got a little Sam Farwell in me.
All right. Anything else on that, Bill, or are you all set?
No, I think we're in good shape. We run into a snag, we'll let you know. But we're now up and running with a process, and people seem to be comfortable with it, and we're ready to charge into it. I don't know how fast or slow a process it'll be, but
All right.
Hey, looks like you're making great progress, huh?
making some progress,
Yeah,
yeah.
good.
But we have to be done by 2015.
Nothing like a deadline.
Yeah. And we're still trying to find out who from Dummerston attended a meeting in 2007 where all the communities were invited and sent someone, and they were people who had some pretty good knowledge of what this ancient roads committee work was going to be all about, and we can't find out who that was.
Yeah, the
But it
minutes
says that
referred to somebody from
Representatives
Dummerston,
from Dummerston,
but didn't say
Newfane.
who.
Mm.
Bill mentioned that to
Yeah.
me, and I don't think it was me, because I have no memory of that. Of course, that doesn't.
Doesn't mean it wasn't.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I wasn't there.
He's got 1066.
Right. Yeah, that I remember.
Okay.
All right. Moving right along, we did the planning grant. With the wedding.
Right.
Review and sign the agreement for the town common for 6/22/13. Do I have a motion from someone to
Yes, I'll move that we sign that.
I'll second that.
discussion on that?
Wasn't there some question whether we even had the authority to regulate that? Did we get
Yeah,
past
I
that?
think we were talking about making sure that the trash got picked up, and so I think we were gonna X out the things that were.
Right.
That's right,
And then
that's right.
There's a bunch of X's on the paperwork.
That's right.
But it certainly covers us to make sure that things get cleaned up.
I remember. I probably was at that meeting in
The whole
2007 too.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we have the change of the grand list for 2012. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
Just going from residential to non-residential. Got a motion to sign that?
I'll move.
Okay,
Go ahead, Steve.
yeah. I'll move we sign that.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And then the last one, we actually went to, this is for a liquor license, correct? Yes.
Okay, request from Putney in.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to actually go in
Right,
as a liquor commission.
So,
Do we have any other business that we want to discuss as select board before we move on? Any new business?
Before we become the liquor commission.
Yes. If not, Motion to adjourn as select board and reconvene as liquor commission.
Also move.
Second?
Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Get this request from the Putney, who is it from? The Putney Inn for a wedding at the Scott Farm. Do I have a motion?
I'll move, we grant the request for the catering permit.
Second?
Discussion. I do have one thing on this that it says midnight,
I did see that, yeah.
and we've always done 11 o'clock.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So, just wondering if anybody would like to put a friendly amendment in there that we change that to 11 o'clock.
That's part of their Act 250.
The reception actually doesn't have to be finished at 11. The alcohol has to stop being served at 11 is what that is.
Yeah, I'd move that we change that.
Well, you want to give him a friendly,
Yeah,
That's what he was
you
I
accept
guess
the
I'm
friendly
yes,
amendment
I would.
That we change that to 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else on this?
Thank you for catching that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstained? Aye. Okay. Being no other business, motion to come out of,
Yeah, the minutes should reflect it.
You gotta smell the liquor first.
come out of the commission?
I'll move, we come out of the, are we reconvening as a select board or are we adjourning?
Oh, I thought we'd adjourned,
Yes.
we adjourned as a select board already.
Okay. Well, then I make a motion, we adjourn as a liquor commission.
I'll second that.
All right. Very good.
So you're done?
Yes, we're
I had
done.
one question.
Oh,
Sorry,
Wait a
I'm
minute.
sorry.
save it for 2
Let
weeks.
me see if I can get everybody back. Go ahead, Gene.
I was wondering what was happening with the library and the trustees of the community center. That was several weeks ago. And they were coming back to the select board, and I haven't heard a word about that. I wondered,
We haven't either.
you haven't heard from them?
We haven't either. I think they were going to try to work things out themselves.
Yeah, I knew they were going to have a meeting together, and then all of them were supposed to come to the select board.
Oh, boy.
No, not yet. They're still working.
They're still working
They're
on it?
still working on it,
I
yes.
mean, that was the 1st of July.
They're still working on that.
Okay.
Thank you. Now we're adjourned.